So today she'll present our final and closing plenary entitled The Impact of Emotional Education in a Practical Approach. Please, I leave you and welcome Ms. Jessica Handal Khalifa.
Do we have this turn? Great, thank you. Well, first of all, before I start, I want to explain a little bit yoga de la risa. It has nothing to do about yoga. It's about the laughing and how we use our body to laugh and liberate all the emotions we are having. And it has nothing to do with body workout, nothing about it. But it's a good practice. Have you heard about it? No? Okay, well, if we have time at the end, we can do something, like 2 exercises about yoga de la risa. Well, first of all, thank you for being here. I know it has been a very long weekend. You've heard a lot of new stuff, a lot of information, compact in 2 days, 2.5 days. Yes. So I'm gonna try to make this hour easy for you, but it's very important when we're learning about all the different techniques we can have to teach better. Emotions are a very essential part in the growing and teaching areas. So today I'm going to talk to you about the impact emotions have in our learning. We can say, okay, I want to be a good teacher, I want to make my classroom the best in the whole school, or I want to teach my students what I'm hired to teach. But for that, we need to know where we come from. We need to know what inspires us to achieve the goals we are trying to achieve during our life. And for that, before we talk about emotions, somebody can tell me what's the purpose in life? Happiness. And if you're sad, are you having the purpose in life? Are you experiencing? Even if you're not happy? Yeah. Okay. Somebody else? Yes. Yes, thank you very much. Love and belonging. And thank you for saying it and not making me be the one to say it, because they tell me that I'm very corny. And love, you see, really? You're a scientific, emotional, admirer. And I'm going to talk about love. Yes. Before we start knowing emotions, the phases, and how we learn them, we need to know that the purpose in life is love and belonging. And that's basic. Everything you do in your life, how you dress, what you study, what you say, what you don't, who do you want to be with, what do you want to accomplish? Everything in life that we do is for us to feel loved and that we belong. Since we are born, we're seeking for that. If a baby does, and the mommy goes, oh, he's the best baby in the world, what's going to do the baby? He's going to do the same thing again and again, because he or she is having a reaction. We want to feel the love. We want to feel that we belong. That would be an ideal, to be loved and belonging maybe in a classroom, a family, culture. But the real thing is that we don't belong. We try to fit in. We confuse the definition of the word belonging and the word love. We try to fit in. What I tell my students is that sometimes we just cut ourselves to fit in a box that it's not our size. Just to feel that love. And that's the way we are trained since we were little. We want to fit in. So we start doing what the expectations of others are. So before we start talking about emotions, the impact they have in the learning, we need to know the basics. And the basics are our students need to feel love and that they belong. And not only our students, who else needs to feel love and belong? Teachers, obviously. We need to feel that also. And for that, we need to feel the authenticity of ourselves and love ourselves with authenticity. Not cutting ourselves to fit in. Embracing what we are right now. Not wishing in what we can be and dreaming in what we can be. Is a knowing that we are worth with what we are now. And maybe tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be better. But today, I'm my best version. And if I see myself in this way, it's going to be easier to see my students in that way. As teachers, we see our students and we see the potential and we see what they can do and we know what we can help them do. But we need to value the process and to make them feel worthy with who they are now. And that's the first part we need to understand about emotions when we are interacting with students. Love and belonging. Now, to continue with emotions, but that's why you're here, we need to know how we work. And this is basic. Somebody knows how emotions work in your body? Where they come from? A physical reaction, okay. Let's see. This is important. Normally we have 5 senses, right? We have sight, hearing, smell, touch, taste. And all these 5 senses send information to our brain. And that information that is sent from our senses to our brain makes an automatic thought. So, I'm going to do a drawing. Before I start, let me just tell you, as I always tell my students, I'm a psychologist, I'm not an artist, so don't laugh at my drawing, but I'm going to try to do my best. So, we have, what's this? Yay, thank you. We are connecting. Do you see that? We are connecting already. So, we have the brain, we have our heart, and we have our precious body, right? We have these 3 essential parts, and all my senses send the information to my brain and make thoughts. And depending on these thoughts, our brain sends a vibration to my heart. These vibrations are my emotions. It's true. When somebody says, oh, I'm very sad in my heart, it hurts. It does hurt. Believe them. It's not corny. It's physical. The vibrations go to our heart. And the heart starts beating. And as our heart beats, it sends the information to our body through the blood system and the nervous system. And that's the way we act. We all have this way of function. There's only 2 types of people that don't function this way. Do you know? Psychopaths and dead people. If you're not a psychopath and you're not dead, believe me, you work this way. You have this connection. There's nothing about, they don't have a heart, they don't have feelings. No, they do. But normally, we're not conscious of our emotions. And we realize our emotions when we already acted, when we cried, when we shouted, when we're feeling very tired. Our actions are the ones that tell you, oh, I think I was very mad. Because I shouted to all the class and they were scared. So this is how we function. And the ideal scenario of all this is that we can have awareness of this situation. Because if we have awareness of this situation, it's going to be easier for me to control my actions for better results. Now, for those of us that are not connecting with my drawings, this is a better drawing of how it works. We have the thoughts here, sends a vibration to my heart, those my emotions, and sends a message to my body. Now, we're going to leave this here, and I'm going to ask you, how do you think that baby is feeling? A little bit. This baby. Sad, worried, frustrated. As they grow old, could be scared, angry, worried, confused. Worried, angry, sad, confused. Okay, I'm gonna go back. This baby has no emotions yet except satisfaction, interest, and affliction. When we have a baby and you say, oh, he's very happy. He's not happy, I'm sorry. He's just satisfied because maybe his diaper is clean. You just fed him. He's very comfortable in the pillows with mom. He's satisfied. The same way our body grows, our emotions grow in us. It's not the same if we say a 1-year-old as a 6-year-old, as a 13-year-old, as an 18-year-old. It's not the same if we're adults, living our emotions as we learned them in our childhood. So, why the emotional education? It's very important. We think that emotional education is just knowing the emotions, and I'm sure that all of you are experts in that. You all know what's sadness, what's anger, frustration, happiness, pride. I'm sure you've all felt all the emotions we can experience in life. But they don't grow in us when we're born. They grow in us while we are experiencing life and growing. As our body grows, our emotions start cultivating in our body. So, the first year, we have these 3. From the first year till 7 years, we start learning the 5 basic emotions. Do you know them? Fear, sadness, anger, jealousy, and love. These 5 emotions are basic. They start learning the emotions, and the way they learn them, they're going to start creating their actions when they're older. When we are 5 years, 6, we start noticing pride, shame, guilt. When we are 6, not when we are 4, 5. When we're 6, we start learning what's really shame, what's really guilt, and what's pride. And it's a very important age, because if I'm learning how pride feels in my body, and I'm reacting in my environment, I'm feeling that I'm always guilty for something, they're always punishing me, They're always saying that, oh, look what you did to your brother. Or, no, you should be more like your cousin. Or, see your classmates. The child will feel that he needs to be in alert. So pride, instead of being an emotion that it's good for me to put limits, I'm going to use it as a weapon. And I'm going to fight. And that's when I say, he's rebel. 6 years. Wow, he's a rebel. He's not. He's not learning pride as the way he should be. Shame. How do we learn shame? What's the difference in shame and guiltiness? Shame and guilt. I'm sorry?
To be aware of the consequences.
To be aware of the...
One behavior or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guilt makes us see our actions. And what's the difference in shame? Shame makes me feel that I'm not worthy, that I'm not good enough. I feel embarrassed. And I make myself small, and I want to just open earth, just go inside and see nobody. And guilt is good. It's a good emotion to make me see what I've done wrong and what can I do to make it right. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with my worthiness. It has to do with my action. What happens when we're teaching? We have the control of the classroom. And we want to say something to make something right when somebody did something wrong, and we want to find a way to teach him or her to be different. We usually do it in front of everybody. Do you think that's constructive or that brings shame? You're going to feel blushed. Well, that happened to me. I just wanted to not see anyone. So we have all these emotions that by ages we are experiencing and learning them. What happens when we get to adolescence? When we are like 11 to 14 years old, in our language, they're bipolars. They're adolescents. Bipolars, definitely. But they're not. The way they function is emotional. Everything they're experiencing, they are processing with the emotions first. So I have a 13-year-old, and I sit her down, and I want her to understand what she has to do, and that school is important, and that being loved or belonged in a group of friends, it's not that important. That being good in class is important for the future. Friends? Oh, there are a lot of friends. How many of us have tell an adolescent when they say, oh, brokenhearted, I'm not going to love again, and we laugh. We're like, oh, there's a sea full of fishes for you, right? But for them, there was only one fish. And they're going to experience that situation with the emotions first. So if we want to connect with adolescents from 11 to 14 years old, believe me, you need to connect by emotion, not rationalizing. But then we have 14-year-olds to 18 years old. And they start making judgment. They start connecting their thinking, their thoughts, their beliefs. And there we need to rationalize with them to connect. So I'm doing it very briefly, but do you see the importance of knowing the phases of the emotions? We need to know how they are cultivated in our body, grown in us, depending on the age we have. And for that, we need to have empathy. somebody can tell me what's empathy? Being in the shoes of somebody else. I love this answer. And I always say, okay, can we change shoes and see if you feel what I feel? It's easy to say empathy, be in others' shoes. How many here have been brokenhearted? How many here are married? How many here have kids? Okay, so we have a lot of circumstances that are the same. Who here has lost a mom or a dad? We have felt and experienced same circumstances. Is it the same? No. It will never be the same. We can live the same experiences, the same circumstances, but it's never the same. Our story is very important, and it's unique. I don't know you, but when I have a situation and somebody tells me, oh, I've gone through the same stuff, or my friend did the same thing, you're going to be fine, or be positive. I don't know you, but my reaction is I want to kick them in the face and say, just let me be. Because, in the face, because my story is unique. So, when we're talking about empathy, we're not talking about being together because of the same circumstances. We're talking about connecting with our emotions. Can you tell me here who has felt sad? Who has felt hurt? Happy? Mad? Lonely? Angry? It's work, exercise. This is yoga. So, we have all felt this way. And if we want to connect with our students, with our families, with our co-workers, empathy is about connecting with the emotion, not with the situation. You will never understand an adolescent that is having a bad day. But you can understand how he's feeling because you have felt that emotion. Not in that age, maybe today, yesterday, last month. So, there are 4 elements very important for empathy. And the first one is appreciate them as human beings. They exist. They're worthy. I don't care if they're angry, if they insult you, if they hit or not, if they did the homework or didn't, if they don't like your class. They are worthy just because they breathe. And that's our first element to be in connection with empathy. No judgment. It doesn't matter the emotion they are having. They are having that emotion. And we need to see that emotion so we can help them move forward and feel good again. See their world. When we say put ourselves in other shoes, the real meaning of that is to see the situation with their beliefs, with their experiences, not ours. We're not mirrors. Let's take the mirror of our students, of our family members, and let's see them as they are. Not with our history, because it's easy to say, no, I have empathy. If I would be at their age, in their situation, I'm sure I would feel this. Wait. You don't have the history that person has. It's not the same experience and not the same belief. So we empathize and we see them without judging. And we see the world through emotions. Understanding feelings. If I don't accept that I also feel fear, shame, that I want to feel love and belonging, I'm not going to recognize it in my students. Because if I'm a person that says life is good, we need to smile all the time. there's no space for negativity or anything that doesn't go with positivity and good stuff. If I reject the emotions that are not pleasant, I'm not going to accept them in others. And that happens a lot. We say like, everybody suffers. And we're not all crying all over the place. Get yourself together. Yeah, we do that. A lot of people express the emotions that way. Boys cannot cry. Boys, you can cry. You may cry. You can, you may, and you must cry also. So, empathy is that, understanding feelings in myself so I can have the empathy to see the emotions and the feelings in others. And the last but not least, communication. Talk. Don't assume. Talk about it. Talk about the emotions. And most importantly, in the adolescence. Why? Because the brain is developing in a very specific way that the expressions in the face are different. For example, you can get to class and you have a worry face. How's a worry face? You're like this, you're in the desk, and your adolescents and your students see a different face. They see anger. Oh, the teacher, he's mad. She's mad. And you're like, what? No, I was thinking about the traffic and the car and my kids, and I had my head in other stuff, and they are seeing other expressions in our face. So communication, it's essential. We need to express how we feel. And when we express it, emotions just flow away. Now, emotions that get in the way. We're going back to the impact emotions have on the learning, in our learning. We have some emotions that are helpful to defend ourselves, but they're not helpful for us to learn. Shame, fear, and vulnerability. We all understand shame. We all understand fear. Vulnerability. What's vulnerability? It's when we feel we are not in control. We feel fragile. Helpless, could be. It could be when we are very sad, when we are angry. When we feel that something we are experiencing is very hurtful. That we feel so fragile. That we feel vulnerable. That with one word, they can break our heart. We are not in control. These three emotions are emotions that get in a way to be in a calm version of ourselves, to receive information. So, what happens when I'm feeling the unpleasant emotions? First of all, I don't like negative emotions, positive emotions. I don't like those words. We say pleasant emotions, unpleasant emotions, because all emotions are good for us. So, what happens when I'm feeling shame, fear, angry, sadness? My body is going to start to protect me. And it's going to turn on the sympathetic nervous system. This is a system that was created for our prehistoric ancestors to defend themselves and survive from natural disasters, from a lion, that right now, in this time, we don't have to run from a lion, hopefully. And we don't have to survive from natural disasters. But we have other type of stresses. Traffic, academic results, relationships. We have a lot of things that stress us, that makes us feel bad. And we start liberating toxins that make my body say, oh, we're being attacked. So, this sympathetic nervous system activates, and defends myself, making my organs not the priority. So, the blood in my hands, in my face, starts going down. So if I have to fight, my digestive system doesn't work. Works with less function. So I could feel a little bit hurt when I'm eating something. I'm not processing well the food. And I'm not concentrating the same way. So if I have a student that is feeling nervous, that he has a situation that puts him sad, angry, his brain is not going to work the same way. The information is not going to be processed the same way. And sometimes we don't even realize the emotions our students are having. And we're just expecting an academic result. And when we don't see it, we expect more. And the emotions of our students just increase. Anxiety, depression. It's sad to know that anxiety and depression are more common than obesity right now. We have estimations that in 2020, the inversion, the economic, how do you say it? Inversion? Investment. Yes, investment will be more for the mental health than the physical health. It's going to be at 70% of the investment in the mental health, not physical health. It's a very strong impact in the economy, and not doing something about it. So, what can we do? We don't want sympathetic nervous system to activate. We want, what do we want? The parasympathetic system, nervous system, to activate. This system is created to put the brakes in the sympathetic nervous system. This parasympathetic nervous system is the one that makes us relax. All this stuff about meditation, it's important because we're relaxing the nervous system and we're just making all our organs work easily, with more functioning. So the parasympathetic nervous system doesn't always just turns on when I'm relaxed, when I'm doing a meditation, when I'm in a massage. No, it also activates when I'm happy, when I feel motivated, excited. When I have all these pleasant emotions, I activate this system. So, I want to talk to you briefly about Donna Hicks. Somebody has heard about her? No? She is a psychologist in Harvard, and she started studying dignity. And about all the leaderships. How can they be leaders, emotional leaders, with dignity? In businesses, in schools, just every human being. And it was very impressive because we hear Harvard, Stanford, and we think about studies that are of professions, of lawyers and other type of investigations, and not about dignity, forgiveness, love. So it has been hard, but at the end, they have, with these investigations, proved that for the productivity and the success in people, we need to have an emotional education. We need to feel loved, belong. We need to learn to forgive, to interact, to connect. And she says that there are some important points we need to do to be a very good leader. Who here thinks that you are a good leader? Nobody thinks you're a good leader? Really? Love yourself. Recognition. We're going to talk about it. You can be secure of yourself. We're not perfect. Remember, we're not perfect, but we are good leaders. I have a phrase that I always say in the morning when I wake up. Jesse, I'm perfect being imperfect. My imperfection makes me perfect. So, even if you're imperfect, you are good leaders because you're here. If you wouldn't be good leaders, or unless with the intention of being good leaders, you wouldn't be here. So, pat in the back, you are good leaders. So, what can make us better leaders? Accepted identity. If I make my students feel accepted with who they are right now, today, our first check. Not only that, if I accept myself as I am right now, first check. Second, recognition. Sometimes we ask ourselves if there's a pill, a magical pill, to make everybody feel great. Well, this is the magical pill. Believe it or not, recognition is what makes us feel worthy. Our own recognition or from others. Recognition, if you recognize your students doing the good stuff, not comparing, like, oh, very good, you did a very good job. Because yesterday, wow, you were. And that recognition is lost. If you say, I'm very proud of you, really, you've done a very good job because you started the year having a lot of trouble. And recognition, down the toilet. Recognition is about embracing only the good stuff. If you want to talk about the bad stuff, wait till another hour, another day, in another moment. Recognition works when it's only recognition by itself. Not comparing with others or with ourselves. Be seen. How many students normally do you have in your classrooms? 30, 45. And I'm sure that you can give a class and maybe you didn't see somebody. You're like, there are a lot of students, I did my job, and I left the classroom, and I didn't even see all my students. Right now, I'm giving a class of the development, the emotional and social development in kids and adolescents. And I have 46 students. It's our first generation, we're very happy. And 46 students. And something that I started to practice and to see if they did notice it, I looked to everyone's eyes. In the 2 hours and a half I'm there, I take the time to eye contact to the 46 students. And something that they recognized at the end of the first semester was that they felt that they were being seen. Everybody felt important by me. And maybe I didn't remember a lot of things. Believe me, we have a lot of things in our face, in our brains, so I don't remember anything a lot. But in the moment, they felt that they were being seen. So try to do that. Eye contact, listen. If you see somebody that his or her, she's a little bit sad at the end of the class, are you okay? Or just go through the desk and a pat in the back or something. Belonging. We are a team. It's not a competition. Don't start making competition between the students. See this guy, he did very good. Learn from him. You can recognize and say, wow, I want to show you everybody this, he did it very good, he did a very good job. But not compare, recognize. You are a team. Remember that. They are your team. Independence. Make them feel they can do it. Normally we hear the word, I can't. No, I can't. I always tell my students, and it's very important when they tell me, I can't. Change it for, it's difficult, it's hard. But don't say I can't. I can't is closing the door. El no puedo. Ay, es que no puedo. I can't.
I don't know. I
Except,
tell my students, don't ever say I can't, because everybody can. We're here, no matter the level. I don't know.
I
That's why
don't
you're
know.
here.
Exactly. If you don't know, I'll teach you. But you can. Thank you very much. It's a very good answer. We have to make them feel they can. So I always say, take the word and say, it's difficult. Because if I say it's difficult, it's hard, I'm understanding my feeling, but I'm leaving a little bit of light with an open door to change what I'm experiencing. Security and open to speak. How would you feel if I told you no? No, it's wrong, what you said. No, no. Well, thank you, but no, no. Okay, continue. You would feel...
My ideas are not valid.
Hmm?
The teacher doesn't want to
I'm wrong.
hear me.
I'm not important enough to be listened. And it's nothing about self-esteem. It's not about self-esteem. Anyone in this room will feel bad if we are exposed in that way. Even if my self-esteem is higher than the sky, I will feel shame. And we do that, and even if it's not the best of the ideas, yours it is. Really, I will use it in the future. No, really, it is. Because there's a saying that says, if you don't know, I'll teach you. If you're not motivated, I'll... Yeah, it's good because that's the thing. We're here for them to learn. We're here to teach them, right? But at the end, there could be an answer that is not right, but we need to value it. Thank you for sharing. It's good. When a student answers something wrong, I don't say, well, no. It's, thank you for saying this, because I'm going to answer it for you to learn more. So thank you. Thank you for participating. Let's value the participation. And recognize when they say a very good answer. There's sometimes that they ask me a question and I don't know. And I'm like, oh, homework for next week. Let's check it out and then bring it. And have the humility, yes, to recognize we're not experts in everything. We don't have all the answers. It would be very boring to have all the answers, even if we are the teachers. We don't have all the answers.
There's always for reference.
And we can always learn from our students. So that makes them feel more secure to express. Treat it with justice. Let's be fair. And saying, I'm sorry. Apologizing if needed. Even if we are teachers. Even if we are in control of a group. We are not perfect. We are perfect being imperfect, right? So if we need to say I'm sorry, say I'm sorry. Because you're teaching them that it's okay to feel guilt and do something wrong and still be worthy and moving forward. So these are some checkpoints we can do to bring dignity to a leadership, to classrooms. Now, before I end, I want to leave you with 3 gifts you can have in your classrooms, in your hearts, in your relationships? Do you want to be successful? Do you want to be good teachers? Good leaders? You want your students to have A's, not because they are studying a lot, but because they're receiving the information and they are learning. These are the 3 gifts you can give them to have this result. Security, love, and recognition. If you have kids, ask yourself at night, how did I give security, love, unconditional love, and recognition to my son, to my daughter, to my children, to my husband, to my wife, to my partner, to my employees, to my coworkers, to my students? How did I give security? And how can we give security to our students? If I'm doing all the stuff for them and answering before they can process the information and answer, I'm not giving them security. Sometimes we are listening to a student and they are like a little bit more slow in the way they answer. And we're just like, so we start ending their phrases. Yeah, you're going to say this. Yes, you're right. And the poor kid was like, oh, I said the half. The other half you said it, but okay. That's not giving security. Security is giving them the time to express themselves, to see that they can do it, to believe that they can do it. Okay, today wasn't a very good day. Your homework was a not very good homework, but tomorrow is another day. Go, sleep. Tomorrow it's going to be better. The security that they can be different all the time. And how can we give security? Not tagging. And I know that all of you have tagged your students in a way, because I'm a teacher also, and I've been a teacher. And we have the student that, oh, he consumes me, the one that is a very bad behavior, the one that doesn't do the homework. We all have a role in the classroom. We have the students that, maybe not in the grown-ups, but we have, who has toddlers, or maybe 5-year-old, 6-year-old students? Maybe there's 1 or 2 that you say in the morning, I don't want him to be sick, but if he's sick, I have no problem at all. So it makes the class feel better. Don't feel bad. We're not bad teachers. But before we say that, let's ask ourselves, okay, how am I giving this kid security that maybe yesterday, yes, he was a bad kid, and the day before, and the day before, but today you get to decide. Every day is a new day to decide who we want to be. And that goes for all of you too. Every day you have the right and you have the blessing to decide who do you want to be. So if you have that right, let me tell you, your students have the same right. Love. It's unconditional love. I don't care about your actions, I care about you. The love goes because you exist, because you are. The actions are other things. I can recognize you, or I can feel very happy with your actions, but love is unconditional. Okay? And last but not least, recognition. Ask yourself, how do I recognize my students every day? I'm not saying to recognize 40 students every day, but maybe in the month. In a month, I've recognized this only one stop, maybe, but one recognition. Recognize makes us feel powerful, belonging, loved. The security brings creativity to our brain. If we feel secure, we are parasympathetic system activated, relaxed. So all the information is going to be processed, and I'm going to learn. So if I feel secure, even if I'm wrong, if I feel love, not because of my test, my work, my participation, just because I belong in this classroom, and recognition, I'm being seen, I'm going to start feeling all the good emotions. Because love is not only love. Love is happiness. Love is excitement, motivation. Just imagine yourselves when you feel good. All the emotions, just experiencing good emotions. You see everything good. You're going to see like every good thing you can see, even if it's a horrible person you have in front of you, you're going to see that person as the sun. Because when we're feeling good emotions, everything works out. So, to close up, what are you going to take to start working with the emotions? 3, I'm going to bring security. I'm going to bring love. I'm going to bring recognition. I'm going to cultivate empathy in my heart. And I'm going to work to have a parasympathetic system, nervous system activated all the time. Just remember, when somebody's feeling shame, better, they're activating the sympathetic. We're going to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Until now, do you have a question? No? Okay, I always like to end my sessions, and I'm going to do it with you also. Lenny, where are you? Okay. I'll do a closing. Yes? Okay. Stand up, everybody. Let's stand up and let's straighten ourselves. If you want to touch the sky, stretch yourself. Very good job. We're going to recognize that we gave our weekend, our family time, to be here, to grow. Because knowing all this, it's not your job. People say that it's your job to know this. It's not your job. It's your responsibility as a teacher and as a human being. It's your responsibility to feel love, to give love, to know emotions, to embrace them, even if they're pleasant or even if they're not. To embrace them because they are yours. And that makes your emotions valuable. It makes you worthy. In the same way we're hugging ourselves and believing all this for us, we're going to give the same right to others as a responsibility of being a part of this world. And we're going to give a very loud clap. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for not being sleepy. I know you're tired. Have a very good weekend, and thank you very much, very, very much for inviting me here.
Well, I just want to say, on behalf of Relaciones Culturales, but especially on behalf of us, the teachers, thank you very much, Jessica. I'm proud to say that you're my teacher, and I learned a lot from you, and I'm going to continue. You give the best hugs that I can have.
Yeah, I like hugs.
I learned a lot today, and I'm waiting for next year, but also for sharing with you, again, the knowledge, but also the emotions, and also the results.
Español porque con las emociones como que el español me cae mejor. Quiero agradecer muchísimo al Departamento Académico de Relaciones Culturales. Por favor, un aplauso muy fuerte por la promoción, por el apoyo entre los maestros. a los directores de cada unidad que también se encargaron de que sus maestros estuvieran aquí y estuvieron presentes con nosotros. Muy especialmente al equipo de estudios superiores. Los voy a mencionar en cualquier orden para no herir susceptibilidades. Todos fueron, quiero agradecer a 3 mujeres del departamento que verdaderamente se partieron la espalda para que ustedes tuvieran su bolsita, su gafet, los stickers en cada uno de sus horarios, el programa, los impresos, un chorro de chamba. Tenemos a Daniela, Tania Olvera, la líder natural de todos, la verdad, Tania, muchísimas gracias. Un besote. Y Edna Morán, que está por ahí en la oscuridad. Todos tuvimos también el apoyo de Mario, que es parte del departamento. Juan Reyes, que no lo veo. Perdón. Que nos apoya mucho con lo técnico, que ya vieron cómo estaba con Mario Herrera, que se fue el funcionamiento del proyector. Y también contamos con el apoyo de alumnos de nuestra licenciatura en enseñanza de lengua inglesa. No quiero decir los nombres porque luego me voy a poner ruido, se me van a olvidar. Y exalumnos también que están aquí.
Tienen 10 puntos.
Los que están graduados ya tienen 10 puntos y quedan exentos. Muy bien, procedamos con los 3 minutos que nos quedan para la rifa. A ver, pedimos una mano santa del público. Jessica, mano santa. Son 6 regalitos, Edna. Estos libros nos lo proporcionó Cengage Nat Geo para ustedes.
Pero yo puedo ir.
1, 2, 3. Otro. Get up.
¿Cómo está en Facebook? 217. 217. 217.
Puras mujeres, no. Jessie, dales a los hombres regalo también.
Tóquenle a los hombres. Tóquenle la manita. A ver. 82. Three girls, 3 boys. That's the thing, honey. 15. Going once, going twice. No? Okay.
Next.
149.
Ooh. ¡Bravo! Ah, claro que sí. Gracias, Jessie. Bueno, pues un aplauso para todos.